Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. You know, when I was growing up, there used to be a phrase called live and let live. Essentially, as long as you weren't stepping on someone's toes, hurting someone, attacking someone, or robbing them, or, breaking into their home or something like that, it's just, you be you and I'll be me, you do you and I'll do me. So what stimulated this video is the Bible. The Bible is essentially getting unraveled. There's another thing on there talking about the authorized King James version of the Bible, and someone is saying, you do know this isn't the actual original writing of the Bible. This is the authorized version that was essentially allowed. So that was something I saw earlier today. I think it was on YouTube, or maybe someone posted on Facebook. So the video really isn't about that or the Bible, but it's an example of a thought I had a few minutes ago is, let's fix the world, and here's what I mean. Essentially, you were supposed to just be you, and you were supposed to learn what you were supposed to learn or wanted to learn or came across, and it developed and you developed, and that's the way it is. And I do the same on my side of the tracks, or do you get what I'm saying? It's like I'm going down my path. But the world has essentially been controlled by people, and I'm not trying to say, the elites or nothing like that, but just everyday people that go, it could be Christians, it could be church people, it could be, I don't know, people from other countries. It doesn't have to be a religion. But everyone is trying to say, like, hey, there is a standard, and this is the way humans should be, and we should all believe this, and we should all believe that, and this and this and that. And what we're finding out now as things are unraveling is all that stuff was just designed to control us, to limit us. Now, listen closely, to limit us. And for sure, the Bible has been used and or manipulated, and mistranslations have reached the Bible, and there are books now we are finding out that we're not allowed to be in, I forget the name, I want to say the canonical or whatever order of books. They were hidden, and not necessarily hidden, but like they were not allowed to be in the Bible, and we essentially were not told about them. Now again, I'm really just using the Bible right now, or religion, as an example of here's one area that this happens. Well, it happens to people who never go to church. Narcissists attack people all the time and tell them what to believe, and you're not allowed to do this, no, that's wrong, you should feel ashamed. But essentially, this is what's destroyed the world. So for sure, if you've ever read the part in the Bible where it talks about the two little horns, one horn is used to is the church, and the other horn is the government, and together they are combined to control the masses. It's all about control. It always has been, always will be. The sad part is these people want to limit everyone, to keep you down mentally, creatively, in all kinds of ways, so they can feel like they're important and they're in power and they get to control. And it's sad because the level of an intelligence, awareness, creativity that has been shut down for thousands of years is astounding. And it's really, really sad where humans could be at this point in time in comparison to where we are. So sure, I believe in social order. I believe we need stop signs so we don't kill each other at the intersection. I believe there should be a way to interact with people. But I don't think that means you should be controlled on what you think, on what you believe, on what you want to do for a living, whether you want to play a guitar, whether you want to start a business or whatever. I mean, I don't think it's supposed to control your thoughts. I don't think it's supposed to limit your creativity and or your intellect and learning and growing and your power. So now that we are realizing as a probably human race around the world, a human species, that the Bible has been manipulated in many ways, and a lot of things have been twisted, if not flat out, completely mistranslated. And I believe there's been quite a few things that have been mistranslated on purpose. It's just wrong. And here's what I'm trying to say. It's like everyone is being told There's one way to worship God. There's one way to think the way things are, and this is the way it is, and that's it. And if not, then you're a sinner, you're going to hell, you're no good, you're outside of our group. So if you realize something or have an experience of something that other people don't, they're going to be like, nope, that must be wrong, it must be evil, it must be not true, or whatever. Instead of going, okay, like, share this with us, like, what happened? Now, on The Chosen, that YouTube video series about Jesus, they just did a video where Jesus was talking to them, and they even admitted, well, yeah, we've seen you heal people, and we've seen you do these miracles, but how can this be so? It's like, so you saw it with your own eyes, and yet you still don't want to believe. Because it doesn't fit in the way that they believe things should be, or the way that they are. So because they can't do it, well, now they don't like it that you can do it. Therefore, they must find a way to shut it down. That's what I'm talking about. There was one where he was talking to the other rabbis, or whatever they call them, where Jesus was. And then there's one where I think it was Mary and maybe one of the other disciples was talking to Nicodemus. And they're like, well, you saw it with your own eyes. And he goes, yes, I've seen him heal the sick and the mute speak and this and that. And I've seen it all, and the blind see. But how can this be? And it's like, wait, so you see all of this and you still don't want to, well, but that's not the way it was taught. And that's not the way we were told. And that's not the way it's been. And they're kind of looking at him like, what? Again, this really isn't about the Bible. I know people in music who will shut other people down because they're getting better than them, or because they're doing a new technique that they've never seen before, and it works, and it's beautiful, and it sounds great, and people love it. Oh, you can't do it. That's not right. Oh, I've got a really good one. I don't have it exactly the way I'm going to say it, but I'm going to kind of say it as best I can. There have been rock stars, musicians, singers who've just made millions, if not, maybe not billions, but hundreds of millions of dollars, and their voice teacher or their choir teacher was like, well, you can't sing, you're going to have to look for a different profession. And they go off into this rock band and become one of the most world famous, like Led Zeppelin, or I'm trying to think of another band where their singer was told I think Elvis Presley was one of them, someone like that. And they were told, oh, you'll never make it in the music industry, so you need to find another career. And it turns out they end up being one of the greatest singers in the history of mankind. You get these opera singers saying, well, this is the way you're supposed to sing, and any other way is wrong. No, any other way isn't wrong. It's just different. We are living in a time where people are really starting to step outside of the box and go, wait a minute, so that's not true, and they've said this to us our whole life. I mean, I remember it was back in probably, let me think, it was probably the late 80s or maybe early 90s when I came to church one day, and the funny thing is, like, I went to a Christian church, and we don't believe in the Catholic religion at all. And the pastor comes in and says, well, the Pope or the whatever in the diocese in Italy, and that one city, I forget the Catholic Roman city, he says that now God says that women are allowed to teach in church, or are allowed to teach the Bible or something like that, and that it was a cardinal rule, but now they've changed it. And I remember going, well, okay, that's fine, but we've been told our whole lives that this is like a cardinal sin, and they're going to go to hell, and you can't do this. I don't remember if it was the woman thing or if it was some other thing, but because there was another rule that they changed, and I'm just like, oh, okay, so we just magically deliciously change something? I mean, why do we have to tell people that, well, you can't do that, and it has to be in the box, and it has to be our way, otherwise you're just wrong, or even worse, you're a sinner. Now, I'm not even trying to get on the religious thing, but it's a really good example of what I'm talking about. They used to burn women at the stake and call them witches when they were collecting aspirin from the aspirin plant, which we still gather aspirin from to make aspirin pills for headaches and fevers and stuff. They used to call them witches and burn them at the stake. because it actually helped people. I'm trying to say something, and maybe I'll just try to be super, super direct and force it, but I'm not really finding good. It's like, I think we're at a time when people are finally exploring spirituality. I mean, true spirituality, not religion. Follow the rules, be a good boy, right or wrong. If you're a sinner, you're going to hell. That is not what I'm talking about. I think people are finally following spirituality. They're finding their own path. They're finding their own way. They're trying to connect with God. Oh, narrow is the path, narrow is the mind. That's not what Jesus meant. He didn't mean there's only one way. He didn't mean that you have to fit into the Mormon religion or the Catholic religion or the Christian religion or the non-denominational Southern Baptist religion and I can go on and on. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, these people saying our way's the right way, everyone else is wrong. That's what I mean. If we could get people to let people be, to allow them to do whatever they want, and now, what do you mean do whatever they want? You mean kill people? No, that's not what I fucking mean, and you fucking know it. I'm gonna say the F word. I went up to the Golden Gate Bridge. That was when I showed the fog video that when I was, says let's go to the Golden Gate Bridge. Go into the fog just a couple days ago. I don't know when I'm going to upload this, so this may come up way later. But I walked up to him and said, you know what? I'll tell you the one thing about Christians. They don't actually believe. And they looked at me and I go, no, I'm not attacking you. I just want to offer you something. I want to kind of challenge you in a good way. Not a challenging way, but to kind of show you something. Most Christians don't actually believe in Jesus or the teachings of Jesus. And now they're looking at me like, what? Because these are Christians trying to, get you to join their church. And I go, honestly, do you really believe what Jesus said? Yes or no? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, he said, if you believe, you shall receive whatever you ask for in prayer. If you say unto this mountain, throw yourself into the ocean, and it shall be so. And he goes, well, I go, see, you don't actually believe. And he kind of thought about it. And here's the thing. It's like, well, what are you thinking about? You either believe or you don't. And that's the thing. There's nothing to think about. But here's what was happening. It was going up against his beliefs that were beaten into him of you're limited, you can't, you're not allowed. Only Jesus can do these things, not pitiful little me, because the church says I'm not worthy. Now, I brought up another verse, and he was kind of, you could tell he was thinking, well, this verse, and he pulled another, it wasn't even Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, it was in a completely different book, that it says it must be the Lord's will, and blah. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, you can't just do it. I go, no, I don't mean like hurt people or do something wrong or bad. He goes, oh, well, okay then. I'm like, but I go, look at what you just did. Instead of answering the question, you looked for a tactic to avoid it. Because deep down inside, he knows that believing what Jesus says and actually accepting it goes against his religion. Because he's not worthy, because that's what he's taught. But he and that lady, you could see when I said that to him, I go, look at what you just did. You literally were looking for a reason to prove that what Jesus said was wrong. Or in this case, was not allowed. So why would you think something negative? Why did you automatically think, wow, it'd be wonderful if I could create so much prosperity that I could help children throughout the world. It'd be wonderful if I could create this wonderful thing to help other people throughout the world. That never even crossed his mind. I believe Jesus came to free us from all the control and all the people shutting us down and limiting us. What am I trying to say? Imagine if you were completely unlimited to grow and learn and develop and learn things on your own and connect with spirituality on your own without someone coming along saying, oh, that doesn't fit in my box, therefore you're just stupid, you're wrong, let's shame this person, let's publicly embarrass them, let's say, well, you're not allowed to do that because it's got to be the will of the Lord. Who says it's not? Why would Jesus say, if you believe, you shall receive whatever you ask for in prayer, by your faith you are healed? And all these things. And even when it came to, I forget the name, Peter or whoever it was that walked on water with Jesus, he says, have faith. So That's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. I'm not talking about doing harmful things to anybody. I'm talking about believing you can heal someone, believing you can walk on water, believing you can turn water into wine, believing that you can do something wonderful. Do you want to know why a lot of people don't actually believe? They're afraid to believe. They've been taught that they're not worthy. They're not worthy of the blessings of the Lord. They're not good enough. They've been told, well, because they saw what happened to Jesus. They hear what happens if you do, even in the modern day, if you actually healed someone in church and you prayed to God before you did it in the name of Jesus, the Lord, God, Father in heaven, people would look at you like, well, you must be doing witchcraft. You must be doing the work of the devil. I am telling you, if you truly healed someone in the church in front of Christians, they would look at you like, okay, something's not right here. What they say, what they profess, and what they actually do, two completely different things. Imagine if science, art, music, therapy, psychology, healing, medicine, even like 3D medical doctors. Imagine if spiritual people, imagine if there was no limitations, none, on any of them. And they began to grow and develop and go down all these different paths to find different ways to create, to heal, to love, to learn, to develop. Without being told, oh, you're wrong because you're not doing it in our religion. Oh, you're wrong because our college system believes it's this way. Oh, you're wrong because of some bullshit. Instead, what if people were... Now, this is really what it's all about right now. Listen to what I'm about to say. What if they were emotionally free? Without any emotional mind attack or mental or emotional attack, what if people are emotionally free to go down their path and discover? But Mike, what if they were doing evil? I'm not talking about evil. Why do you got to go there? Flat out, our system was designed to control and to hold people back and hold people down and limit people. What if we got rid of all the shame, guilt, and fear and all the tactics to hold people back and allow people to be completely unlimited? That's how you fix the world fast. This is the work that I do, emotional freedom. I realized this a few years back. Everything I'm doing with people, where it's men meeting women, communication skills, business skills, emotional healing, energy healing, it's always setting people emotionally free. And this is what people are really upset about, is not being emotionally free. When you give someone their emotional freedom, it's like you let them out of jail. Here's what I want you to do. Just imagine for a few moments, what would it be like if you were completely and totally emotionally free? No guilt, no shame, no fear, just completely feeling good inside emotionally. You physically, emotionally feel good emotionally about yourself and with yourself. And every thought is this, what's the word I want to say? No doubt, no confusion, no fear, just unlimited creativity. And feeling good about yourself while you're doing it. Now that's living life. God bless you guys. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video may have given you a different perspective, and maybe now or in the very near future, something clicks in your brain that makes your life a lot better. If you enjoyed the video, please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment, and as always, you can go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.